ॐ ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaskar, my dear friends. This is a very important video. In this video, I am going to talk about Lord Dattatray and his 24 gurus. Lord Dattatray and his 24 gurus. Lord Dattatray is considered as among one of the 24 Vishnu's incarnations. Lord Dattatray was born of Rishi Atri and Anusuya. The name Dattatray can be divided into two words. Datta means giver and Atri says Atri. Lord Dattatray, considered as Guru of environmental education, gained enlightenment by his observation from surrounding, which provided him 24 gurus. These gurus explain the problem of mundane attachments and teach the path towards the spiritual self-realization of the Supreme. The core message of Lord Dattatray is never judge by surface appearances but always seek a deeper truth. Lord Dattatray is imaged with three faces, six hands and single body. The three faces represented the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Each pair of hands carries two of the symbols of the three deities. The four dogs are shown with the image of Lord Dattatray, represents the four holy Vedas. A cow standing behind in the image represents the Mother Earth. Narration of story as in the Bhagavatam. Narration of story as in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, narrates the story of Lord Dattatray and his 24 gurus in his final teaching to his dear friend Uddhava. This teaching is considered as the second best teaching by Sri Krishna after Bhagavad Gita and is known as the Uddhava Gita. Once King Yadu saw Lord Dattatray Avadhuta wandering in a forest happily, free from worries. The king, with humbleness, asked the sage about the secret of his happiness and the name of his guru. Further said to sage that despite you look capable and wise, why do you live in the forest? Even though you have no family nor any loved one, how could you be so blissful and self-contented? To answer the Yadu's enquired queries, the Lord Dattatray Avadhut, one who has given up all worldly desires, replied, my bliss and contentment are the fruits of self-realization. Soul Atma alone is my Guru, yet I have gained the necessary wisdom from the whole creation via 24 individuals who were therefore my Gurus. I shall elaborate the same for you. Further, Lord Dattatray said, I have taken shelter of 24 Gurus who are the following: the earth, air, sky, water, fire, moon, sun, pigeon and python, the sea, moth, honeybee, elephant and honey thief, the deer, the fish, the dancing girl, Pingla, the Kurari bird and the child, the young girl, Naromik arrow maker, serpent, spider, and wasp. This is the this is from Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 7, Slokas 33 to 35. The 24 Gurus of Dattatray. The 24 Gurus of Lord Dattatreya. Number 1. Earth, Prithvi, along with mountain and trees. The earth teaches course of dharma, art of tolerance, art of performing duty. One can learn patience and forgiveness from earth. Like mountains and trees, one should devotedly dedicate self to the welfare of other living beings. Number 2. Air, Vayu. The air being pure and odorless in its characteristics move freely among all objects and yet remain unaffected. The air teaches the value of being free from all contamination and of staying clear of material world's disturbances. When air blows out of control, the atmosphere becomes agitated. Similarly, if the mind is constantly attracted and repelled by material objects, it will be next to impossible to think of the absolute truth. Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Third, sky, Akash. The sky having no boundaries beyond the reach of material nature, infinite in nature, sometimes clouds cover the sky, but yet sky remains unaffected. In the same way, the soul is never affected by the material body contamination. Like sky, the soul is omnipresent, all pervading, and infinite in nature. The inner emptiness of sky, that is space, teaches the sage should be free of emotions within inside. Number 4. Water, Jal. The sage is like water because he is free from all impurities, gentle in nature, and while speaking he creates a beautiful vibration like the flowing of water. By seeing, teaching, or hearing such a saintly person, the living entity is cleansed as if coming in contact with pure water. Water quenches the thirst of every creature, very important element for all creatures. Without feeling any proud, water serves all living beings. The sage too should likewise bestow health, peace, and joy to every creature that resorts to him. The sage should ever live as the humblest of God's creation. Water teaches the quality of purity just as the pure water cleanses others. So also the sage who is pure and free from selfishness, lust, egoism, anger, greed, etc., purifies all who come in contact with him. Number 5. Fire, Agni. Fire burns bright, cannot be suppressed by others. It has no extra storage place. It keeps all inside itself and it can eat anything and yet not get dirty when comes into contact of other dirty things. The sage's glory is like the fire, is made brighter by austerities. His knowledge and tapas having no vessel other than his stomach. Although having no shape of its own, the fire assumes the shape of the firewood through which it reveals itself. Similarly, having entered a particular body, the soul reveals the traits through the body. Number 6. Moon. Chandrama. The moon waxes and wanes despite this continuous change taking place with the moon, yet it remains unaffected by this process. Similarly, the sage should not be affected by the continual change of a body from birth to death, including diseases and old age. Number 7. Sun, Surya. The reflection of sun can be seen in many objects, but the actual sun is one and undivided. That teaches the Supreme Soul is one and reflected into various bodies, but the soul is not body itself. The sun evaporates water and it returns water back to earth in the form of rain without any attachment or entangled with its act. Similarly, the sage can accept material things with his senses, but at the appropriate time he should give these things back as an act from sense of duty without getting attached to material sense objects. Pigeon, a bird. Once a devoted pigeon couple along with their babies lives happily in jungle. The couple loves each other too much, also take care of their infant babies. The love among them is ever growing every day. One day the couple went to bring food for their children. In the meanwhile, the bird hunter came to their nest and caught the children in a net. When the couple returned back, they saw their dear children were caught in net, unable to live without their children. The couple foolishly also jumped into that trap of net. The bird catcher returned home with the complete catch. Teaches the pigeon story warns against developing obsessive love or attachments in the transient material world. The sage would refrain from attachment after attaining the human body, which is the open door to mukti moksha, liberation, a door to God realization. Even after being born as an intelligent living being, one is caught in the clutches of possessiveness and brings about his own spiritual destruction. Excessive attachment and love with anything except wisdom is the cause of bondage. Python, Asgar. A python eats whatever comes in its way and satisfies whether it is sufficient or not, bitter or sweet, etc. One should accept whatever one comes across in the life with full contentment. While suffering the hardships and miseries in life, one should think it is due to past sinful activities that one is being punished. A sage always goes for search of wisdom and refrains from running after unwanted pleasures. Number 10. Honeybee, Madhu Makhi. Honeybee wanders from flower to flower to collect nectar from them without hurting the flower and draws honey. Similarly, the sage takes the essence of different various holy scriptures, study and practices them spiritually. The sage should wander from door to door to beg just enough food for his living without troubling the householders who provide them. The sage should not become greedy. Number 11. Honey thief, honey gatherer. The bees collect honey and store it with hard work, which they neither eat nor give away it themselves in charity to any other creatures. The honey gatherer, honey thief comes and takes the honey easily. The sage should not store things for himself even for the next time. He should use his palms to take food and stomach to store food. We have to leave all we store out of trouble throughout our life at once and depart when the Lord of Death, Yama, come and take us with him. Number 12. Bird of prey. Kurari, Kurari bird, hawk. Once there was Kurari bird who picked some sort of food in the beak from somewhere. At the time, the other stronger birds, having no food to eat, attacked that bird to take food away from his beak. In order to get rid of the attack and to attain peace, the bird dropped the food from beak. Teaches the worldly possessions are source of trouble. If one run after sensual pleasures, will soon come into clash with his fellow beings who to run for the same and has to face much miseries and strife. Happiness and enlightenment belong to one who lives simply, conquer his craving for worldly things and seek only spiritual goals. One becomes as happy and relieved only on abandoning the sensual pleasures. Number 13. Sea, ocean, samudra. The ocean neither increases due to excessive inflow of rivers nor decreases due to stoppage of flow of rivers, yet it maintains its level. The calm sea, never disturbed, always remains in its boundaries, except the natural catastrophe. The sage should be equipoised and in state of calmness. The life of sage remains balanced. The joys of life do not excite him, nor do sorrows depress him. The wise sage never transgresses the highest standards of morality. The depth of such sages' wisdom cannot be easily comprehended by anyone, just as hidden pearls at the depth of ocean cannot easily be discovered. Number 14. Moth, grasshopper, patanga. The moth is tempted by fire, being attracted by the delightful beauty of flame. It jumps into it and gets burned within it. Similarly, a foolish man is enticed by the illusory pleasures of the visual senses and thus gets caught in the ceaseless cycles of birth and death. Teaches to control the sense of sight and all other senses and to try to avoid being greedy. Number 15. Elephant, Hathi. The male elephant, out of immense lust, falls into a pit covered over with grass by the scent of its mate, a paper and wooden made female elephant. The elephant gets caught and enchained after being attracted towards its opposite gender mate. Similarly, a passionate person is tempted by the opposite gender and falls into the trap and comes to grief. The seekers of spiritual truth should learn to get rid from the clutches of lust. Number 16. Deer, Hiran. The deer is very fond of music and is very much attracted by it. The deer is trapped by hunter through its love for music. Hunter employs music to lure the deer before hunting it. Teaches passion and sensual desires will later or sooner bring down a sage from his spiritual progress. A renounced person should never become attracted by mundane sounds like sensuous music, especially the sweet singing and dancing of girls. Number 17. Fish, machli. Due to uncontrolled tongue, the fish is caught on hook. It is through tasteful bait, small food used to catch fish that the fish meets its end. Teaches among the sense tongue is the most difficult to be controlled. When tongue is controlled, other sense will become easy to be controlled. Apart from that, fish never leaves its home, that is water. So one should never lose sight of his true self. Pingla. Number 18, Pingla, a dancing girl. There was a dancing girl named Pingla. She was tired of looking for customers one night to come and give her sensual pleasure along with lot of money. She became hopeless and ultimately out of frustration gave her plans for earning money via this means. Feeling satisfaction from her abandonment of material desires, she was contented with what she had and then had sound sleep. She has realized that divine spirit lies within herself, who is of the nature of bliss eternal. Teaches the abandonment of expectation from people leads to contentment and infinite joy. Number 19. Child. A child has no grievance, anger, jealousy, hatred, and above all free of ego and arrogance. Both child and sage are free from anxieties and fully engrossed in the supreme joy. A child is happy and enjoying due to ignorance, while sage is happy, free from all worldly desires, which is transcended the three gunas sattva, rajas, and tamas. Teaches live like being child at heart, innocent, carefree, and full of supreme joy. Number 20. Maiden, unmarried girl. Once some people came home to see a maiden girl. Her parents were not at home, so she had to entertain them herself. She went to kitchen and started beating rice for their food. At that time her hand bangles started making noise. She did not like that noise because it showed that they were so poor that she herself had to beat the rice. So she broke all the bangles except two in each hand. But still they made noise, so she broke one more bangle from each hand. Hence no noise produced. Teaches when there are number of spiritual seekers living together, there will be clash of interest even among two persons. There might be disturbance, disputes, etc. The sage should live alone in solitude, as it is better to live alone without creating any unwanted noise, gossips. Number 21. Serpent, snake, Saap. The snake lives alone and avoids the company of other creatures. In order to seek self realization, one should abide in the caves of his own heart. The snake leaves off its own skin after some time and gets the newer one that make resemblance with the phenomenon of death. A true sage never frightened by the death, knowing sooner or later he will get a new life based on his karmic actions. Number 22. Arrow Smith, maker of arrow. Once there was an arrow maker. He was so absorbed in making the tip of an arrow that he did not notice the procession of king passes nearby him. He was very much keen in his work. Teaches focused mind concentration is the way to achieve self-realization. Number 23. Spider, Makdi. Spider builds a beautiful web from his heart through the mouth, play and enjoys with it, and then after some time swallow that very same web. Teaches Lord Supreme creates material universe from his Maya, preserved it, and after a while draws it back into the self. The Supreme Self has no desires and is beyond the reach of cause and effect. Caterpillar, wasp, bringy. The wasp catches hold of a worm caterpillar, put it in its hive nest, gives it a sting, and goes on buzzing about it. The caterpillar is so frightened by this whole ongoing process of buzzing that it cannot think anything else apart from wasp. The constantly kept thinking of caterpillar of about wasp eventually makes a caterpillar a wasp itself. Teaches whatever form a man constantly thinks of knowingly, unintentionally, be it with love, jealousy, or fear, etc., he attains in course of time that form. As a man thinks, so he becomes. Even at the time of death, whatever one's mind focused on, one attains the same living species form in his next life. Thus, one must try to give up all attachment to the body and attain moksha or liberation. If one constantly, devotedly, without any sort of deviation, mediates mediates upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one will achieve a spiritual body just like that of the Lord qualitatively. Further, Lord Dattatreya explains what he has learned from his own body. My body teaches me jnana, knowledge, and vairagya, detachment. Birth and death are along with it. It means that if we hold on to this body, then we have to bear sorrows. Although it helps to think about tattva elements, still I never consider it mine. To please whatever body the living being is always busy in desiring many things, does karma, deeds, and collects wealth with great difficulties. The same body is destroyed after its time is completed. Although Bhagwan created many yonis, as many as 84 millions, but he did not get satisfied with them. When he created Manushya Yoni, human being, moksha is the main objective of this yoni, because pleasures can be achieved in many other yonis, but moksha can be attained only in this yoni. Therefore, one should not waste this valuable yoni in enjoying pleasures. Thinking thus, I took vairagya, neither I love anything nor am I proud of anything. With humble and full devotion, I looked upon the whole of God's creation as my various gurus, trying to gather wisdom from them and realizing my goal of spiritual enlightenment. Summarizing the 24 gurus. The earth represents the dharma, the wind symbolizes freedom of truth, the sun, moon, and ocean emphasizing the unchanging nature of truth. The sky shows the infinite nature of self. The spider reminds the transient nature of material world. The moth, elephant, deer, and fish warn against the overwhelming of distraction caused by desires. The pigeon, honeybee, kurari bird, and pingla warn against the worldly attachments. The child evokes the happiness of freedom from material care. The python and honeybee emphasizes the benefits of simple living. The fire and water teaches the power to purify the contamination of material world. The maiden and snake teaches to avoid any distraction caused by unwanted things. The arrowsmith teaches to remain focused and concentrate towards the goal. The caterpillar teaches that by concentrating on God, one can return to Godhead, the ultimate goal. So, at this point, I conclude this video. Thank you for watching this wonderful video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Namaskar, my dear friends. Thank you. Namaste. Further, Lord Dattatray explains what he has learned from his own body. My body teaches me jnana, knowledge and vairagya, detachment. Birth and death are along with it. It means that if we hold on to this body, then we have to bear sorrows. Although it helps to think about tattva elements, still I never consider it mine. To please whatever body, the living being is always busy in desiring many things, does karma, deeds and collects wealth with great difficulties. The same body is destroyed after its time is completed. Although Bhagwan created many yonis, as many as 84 millions, but he did not get satisfied with them. When he created Manushya Yoni, human being, moksha is the main objective of this yoni, because pleasures can be achieved in many other yonis, but moksha can be attained only in this yoni. Therefore, one should not waste this valuable yoni in enjoying pleasures. Thinking thus, I took vairagya, neither I love anything nor am I proud of anything. With humble and full devotion, I looked upon the whole of God's creation as my various gurus, trying to gather wisdom from them and realizing my goal of spiritual enlightenment. Summarizing the 24 gurus. The earth represents the dharma, the wind symbolizes freedom of truth, the sun, moon, and ocean emphasizing the unchanging nature of truth. The sky shows the infinite nature of self. The spider reminds the transient nature of material world. The moth, elephant, deer, and fish warn against the overwhelming of distraction caused by desires. The pigeon, honeybee, kuradi bird, and pingla warn against the worldly attachments. The child evokes the happiness of freedom from material care. The python and honeybee emphasizes the benefits of simple living. The fire and water teaches the power to purify the contamination of material world. The maiden and snake teaches to avoid any distraction caused by unwanted things. The arrowsmith teaches to remain focused and concentrate towards the goal. The caterpillar teaches that by concentrating on God, one can return to Godhead, the ultimate goal. So, at this point, I conclude this video. Thank you for watching this wonderful video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Namaskar, my dear friends. Thank you. Namaste.